Hi there. I'm called Emmanuel, and I am from South Africa, and I am doing my master's here with MICA Royals. This is my little studio. I was one of the latecomers, so I've got a small studio space, but I love it anyway. And I have some of my old works here. The walls are a bit empty because I've taken everything to the seminar room for my group critique. There's just a couple of photocopied photographs. This is an old work of mine that's printed onto silk organza that I'd like to do something similar to this, maybe in my second year. I am interested in monuments and memorials, and particularly the military. So I'm interviewing military veterans in the United States. I'm traveling to different parts of the country to interview them and working with the videos to create a website that I have been constructing. And I managed to get hold of a parachute, which I'll show you just now. These are drawings that I did a few years now. This is carbon paper that I've scratched away with a blade obsessively for a couple of years actually. And they're all of my body. And I was just interested in how different symbols are imposed on us or self-imposed. When we're born, we absorb certain values and ideas and ideals culturally. And so this, for instance, these symbols on the back of my head are lifted from my father's old school blazer back in Johannesburg in the 1940s, I think. And I just projected them onto the back of my head and scratched an image into the carbon paper. When it starts out, it's black like this, and then I just take a blade and I just very carefully scrape away the carbon paper, and then I collect all the dust at the bottom, and it becomes part of an installation. And that's my studio. This I'm still playing around with. This is a paratrooper's harness from a genuine used paratrooper's harness, which I was going to put with my installation, but I decided against it because I thought it was overstatement. And you only figure those things out once you've done it, right? Everything's a bit of an experiment, but I do love it, and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with it eventually, maybe later. And it's really heavy. Anyway, how's that for the studio? Was that cool? I'll put everything. Let me take how long was that? 4 minutes. So this is my installation for the group critique, which we had today, which I'm so glad is over because it's just taken a long time to get to this point. This is the parachute that I was given by one of the veterans that I interviewed, and he was a paratrooper when he was in the US military, and he got blown up by an IED in Iraq in 2008, the second sort of wave of United States intervention. And it feels very special to me. And I just put it in the middle of this room. For me, it was almost like a reflection pool of something that we see ourselves in, perhaps, or a landscape, or some kind of enigmatic shape that we relate to with the body and the absence of the body. And I had a whole bunch of drawings that I've been playing around with, just messing around with how the parachute might look in a completely fantastical situation, almost impossible to create in reality. But with Photoshop you can do anything. So I had a lot of fun with that. And I don't know what else I should say. These are also just charcoal drawings of, maybe somebody once said that they looked a little bit like a storyboard for a film that I might make, which I like the idea of. And yeah, these are drawings that I made as well, also looking at monuments and memorials, and this time instead of using a very sort of important military object or artifact like a graveyard, I sort of substituted that for an ordinary civilian bed and turned it into a monument for something incredibly ordinary. And this is an experiment that I have started by scratching away a layer of boot polish. The military uses a particular brand of boot polish called Kiwi, and so I've just plastered a layer of it on top of a piece of fabric and scratched it away with the blade, much like I did with the carbon paper. And I'm hoping to turn that into a bigger work later. And that's it.